So probably one of the biggest like issues in disc golf is inconsistency in plastic. Like take these Eras for instance. Like the forged Era is a really nice, understable, touchy driver. It doesn't really hold in a whole lot of wind though. These composite Eras though are same mold, they're both Eras, but this one's just nice and overstable, holds the wind against the wind, and you can even find some of them like this orange one that's like super beefy, almost like Firebird type disc. But there are a lot of people out there that see inconsistency in plastic as like a bad thing, that they try to avoid it. But I really don't think that way at all. I do really think that inconsistency in plastic can be a great thing. And obviously, I have a few reasons for that. So let's talk about it. Now, first things first. One of the biggest misconceptions is that there are companies out there that are really consistent and you just need to find the consistent companies and avoid the inconsistent ones. First off, that's baloney. Every single company have inconsistencies in their plastic. It is a plastic thing. It is a disc golf thing. For the people that say that there's companies that are more consistent, it's probably because they're smaller and they make things in smaller batches. And so it's a lot easier to find batches that are the same. So they're seen as being a consistent company, when in reality, every company in disc golf has inconsistencies, whether it's Latitude, Discmania, Discraft, Thought Space Athletics, MVP, Finish Line Discs, they all have them. And I didn't even name Innova because everyone thinks that they're the most inconsistent, which in that case, like Innova is seen and perceived as most inconsistent because they're the oldest company and they make the most discs by far out of everyone. Like they probably even make more than Discraft. And because of that, it's very hard to find two discs of the same run. So you more often see inconsistencies because they're just putting out so much volume in plastics. So that's baloney. If you say I throw them because they're consistent, they're not consistent. Like even the Graces, like I had two Graces. They were from the same, well, not the same run. It was like the first run of Graces, of production runs, and so there weren't very many runs. I still was able to find two stock discs that fly differently. It's not a downside though, too. I really hope you can hear this audio because it's very windy out here. I have a new mic with a new like windscreen thing, so hopefully it works. We'll find out in post. But if you learn these inconsistencies in the plastics and like know what kind of discs to look for, you can really take advantage of them. I had to come in here with all the trees covering all the wind so you can actually hear me. But I think a big reason why a lot of people see inconsistencies as a bad thing and a negative thing, probably because like cycling discs has kind of like gone to the wayside. It's kind of like an old mindset kind of, so I guess that's kind of means that I have like an older mindset in terms of I like to cycle discs. So when you cycle discs, inconsistencies are actually really nice. For example, if you want to cycle Eras, then instead of having to get like overstable Eras and beating them up to get those different flights, because that takes a long time. Like, yeah, a lot of pros have the time and they throw enough to do that, but like someone like me, I mean, now I throw a lot now that I have a YouTube channel, but like a lot of people don't have the time to go out and throw their discs a ton and beat them up. So whenever you can find different stabilities in the disc, it's great. Like my Wraiths, for example, I cycle Wraiths, but you can put quotes on cycle because I really only have one beat up Wraith. The rest of them, they're all stock and like pretty fairly new, but I have 5 different Wraiths, and that's the only distance driver I carry. So I just have 5 Wraiths and they're all different stabilities because of those inconsistencies. Like for example, like this yellow one, it's nice, straight, and it's very workable when there's no wind, but like out here it's really windy today, and it doesn't really hold very well. Like it can max distance shots, but it doesn't really hold very well in winds. This bright yellow one, this one holds really well, and it flies a lot like this one does when it's calm, but this does when it's windy, and these are both fairly new. ones. And then the Halo ones, of course, they're the beefy wind fighters. So, and because of those inconsistencies, I can have one consistent feel in the hand, just one distance driver, and I can cover all of my shots in my game. Sorry to check if my number was on there. It's not, so we're good, because I lost the one with my number on it. Which I did get a call back for that one, so came back to me, baby. But yeah, so going back to these Eras, like, yes, these forged ones are amazing finesse drivers, but these composite ones are also really good. So like these Drew Gibson Signature Series ones, which we have these at apollodiscgolf.com. These are a limited stamp disc, so you can buy them there. Most of these are like fairly overstable and they fight well in the wind. They're just very dead straight. And if you want to cycle Eras, these are great to cycle with the forged ones. And I bet you can even find forged ones that are a little bit more overstable than this to kind of fill the gap between these two. But like in the wind, there was a shot over there, I almost fell. There was a shot over there where it was just a straight hyzer, but there's a really strong like 20-mile-per-hour wind left to right. I could not throw that forged one in that and get a consistent hyzer out of it. But this one, I was able to just throw it out there, flat to slight hyzer, and it held straight finish left and was able to put it in for a birdie totally on my first try. But then even that orange one, which for some reason, so like a lot of these orange ones, it's weird because, so most people think the heavier weights means more overstable. No, these 170 to 172 ones in orange, these ones are the beefy ones. They're the beefcakes. All the other ones are fairly, they're still stable, but they're not like, you can tell when you look at them, they're not as overstable as these. If you want the beefy Eras, they're the 170 to 172 orange ones. Even the max weight Era orange ones, the like 173 to 175, they're more like this purple one here. And then there's yellow ones that we have that are like in between this. I haven't thrown it, but the parting line height is in between it, so meaning it's in between in stability. If you don't know that, I have a video on that. Link it up here. But yeah, that's kind of just my 2 cents about inconsistencies in plastic. A lot of people say that they like a brand because of its consistent. Every company is inconsistent and it's not a bad thing. Like, I really like mold minimalism, and if you like mold minimalism, it's great to be able to have a disc that you can get multiples of and get those different flights while having the same general feel in your hand. So let me know in the comments if you agree with me, or if you're just like, no, I want consistent plastic always. I want the impossible. Give it to me. Yeah, let me know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.